Okay, so in this video, I want to talk to you about two newspapers the library has specialized access to, and that is the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So these are titles I hope you are at least familiar in hearing us talk about. We've talked about the New York Times kind of a bit in this class and its credibility. And so if you look down this newspaper list, you see we have the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal as separate links. So you can get these newspapers through our databases like America's News or like this ProQuest Newspaper Source Plus. But we also have the subscription for current students and employees of UNCP to get individual accounts to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. And so what that allows you to do is use the actual newspaper homepage website. So if you're just using these without logging in, you are limited in your access, that you only get like 4 or 5 articles a month. And so you can't have the full functionality of the actual newspaper site. But if you do subscribe to it and log in with the account that you can create through the library, you get that unlimited access. The only thing we don't get from the New York Times with this personal account you can create is the crossword. You do have to pay for your own account to get the daily and Sunday crosswords, but everything else is available to you. And the amount of information you get through the websites as opposed to our databases is insane. So with the databases, you're getting the newspaper articles that were published in the print edition, but these are massive news conglomerates and news media companies that offer a lot more on their websites than just what comes out in the physical paper. So all you're getting through America's News or LexisNexis is those articles that are coming out in the print paper, whereas on the website you get all of this additional news and commentary, a lot of their opinion sections, and editorials and op-ed and letters and reviews and stuff like that are solely online. These are all online articles and discussions that is great research and great discussion between experts and people who work in these particular subject areas and fields that is solely online. So go ahead and do create that account. Through New York Times, you also get access to the archives going back all the way to 1851. So all of that historical research, the New York Times has been a major newspaper for 150 years, and great research, great primary source documents going back to the 1850s. So if you use the search bar in the top left here, you automatically get access to that archives. You can also use their Times Machine. And the easiest way to find that is just to search on their website for it. So it's this New York Times archive, also called the Times Machine, where instead of just getting the HTML full text of the article, you're actually getting the PDF scanned images of the actual newspaper. So this one coming from Thursday 14th, 1949. And so you can see these actual layouts. You get the images. This can be really helpful for some people who are looking for art and like advertising and stuff like that. And so sometimes you also get stuff with the original text that it was transcribed from 100 years ago. And so sometimes people make mistakes. So the archives go from the 1850s, I think, to 2002. The Times Machine does. The actual archives on the main homepage goes from 1851 to current. You also have all of these other great tools. You get this menu here, so you get the different sections that you can search or browse and read. You also get all of their arts and culture readings that you can access through this. I'm spilling my water over here, sorry. Things like their virtual reality stuff. You get all of this more section. You get their School of NYT and stuff like that, to where you can take online classes and cultural things for free. So great tool. Wall Street Journal is the same. Wall Street Journal started out specifically as a business resource, and that is what it most heavily is used for. A lot of business research, market information, things like that. But in the past 15 years, they have branched out beyond just business into world news and politics and stuff like that. So great, fantastic, very credible, very well-respected resource. And so this is another one that you get full access to their website, by creating that account. You can also download an app on your phone. So beyond just research for your classes, it's important for you to keep up with what's going on in the world. And so these are two very credible, globally recognized as credible resources for news and information. And so you can keep up with the headlines and what's going on in the world, and you can do that with the app on your phone, which is much easier to use. So you can download the app, log into that account you created, and you have the full access that way. How to create your accounts. You cannot just go to the website and create an account with your student email. You have to go to a specific link, and those links are found in the description under this New York Times and Wall Street Journal. So for New York Times, you have this create an account at accessnyt.com, and so that is going to, let me highlight and take you there. Link a new tab. It will ask you to choose which school you are a student at, and so you then just choose University of North Carolina. I cannot spell. North Carolina at Pembroke, and then that allows you to create your account with that school email. Same for the Wall Street Journal. It is wsj.com/activate-school. And let me make sure I'm getting all that. So copy, paste and go. And so once again, you are a student, enter your university name. North. And then it processes, and it's going to bring me up in a second here. It has a weird login thing. Okay, so then I'm already logged in, so that's why it's taking me here instead. So you can see my name up at the top. If you hadn't created an account, it would take you to where you create that account, and then you have that full text access. This is free. You do have to recertify your account once a semester to prove that you're still a current student. It will send you a reminder saying that. So when it's just kind of like you have to change the password to your Brave Mail and your Brave Web and stuff like that every few months. It wants you to do something similar. It'll send you a notification, hey, it's time to recertify. And so click on that email and it will take you to where you can do that. But great, fantastic tool for research and for everyday knowledge, and something you get free through the library. So take advantage of those. New York Times and Wall Street Journals would definitely be a credible article for you to pull for your newspaper article for your final project, because remember, you do have to have at least one newspaper source, although anything you're finding within America's News or Nexus Uni would be allowed as well. For that final project, your newspaper source has to be something that you're finding through library resources. It can't just be you're going to a newspaper website that we don't have a subscription to. I'm wanting you to go through these databases or create an account with the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal and access it that way. So keep that in mind. If you have questions about your newspaper requirement for the final project, do let me know.